Let's spend a couple of minutes and talk about integrity today. Especially when it comes to integrity, it's one of the rules that we learned from childhood, even playing in the kindergarten and from an early age playing in sports, competing against others. We all get to learn what integrity is. So it's very tough to pretend that you're not able to understand integrity or actively exercise it. So here's a specific situation where you might find yourself as an adult, as a career professional, finding yourself in a situation that on your job, on your 9-to-5 career, in your position, you find yourself having to step out of your integrity, having to kind of clash with integrity in order to survive, in order to continue to do what you do. Now, this isn't very rare, it isn't very common neither, but especially as someone who's spent almost a decade in recruiting and interviewing others, interviewing job seekers regularly on a daily and weekly basis for a decade, I've got to listen to a lot of stories as to why people want to leave their current job and move on to another organization. And unfortunately, too many for my comfort, too many of those had to do with the organization putting that person in a situation where they're really interfacing their own integrity and they're making the decision between, like, do I quit or do I just move on, you know? And in a lot of cases, they have good jobs, good paying jobs, they're stable, they're most likely most of the times in their senior years of their career too. So the business trusts them to bend the rules a little bit, and some of those rules, they just can't be bent. They may be ethical and they might make you feel not comfortable enough to do that. So make sure you discuss these situations with your superiors. But I found myself in these situations too, and it's a very difficult conversation to have. But do your best to share with the superior, with the direct supervisor, someone you really trust and respect. Gather their input and follow it as best as you can. However, when it comes down to it, if you don't have integrity, you have nothing, you know. And without integrity, nothing else really matters. So when it comes down to it, it might be time for you to move on. You know, continuing to work in an organization that doesn't respect how you want to do business, which is with full integrity, because they don't have integrity, that's just not right. That's not fair to you. So if you're coming to the end of 2019 and you currently see yourself in a position where you're not enjoying what you do, or perhaps the organization you're working for is not a very integrable organization, you believe you can improve, you know, put your plan together, gather your thoughts, begin to execute your departure, find the right organization, find the right team, the right culture, and move on. And that's because having integrity allows you to look within. If you continue to work where you are, you're going to continue to darken your soul. But moving on, whether how difficult or how challenging it is, moving on and actually making that transition makes you extremely happy, because you're back to being an integrable person, having integrity in your career, more happy at work, more happy at home, and a better leader in life.